Hey guys, so we're going to start with our review for test 6. You're going to need the following three things, which is graph paper, a ruler, and some paper. But if you go on the website, I actually posted this exact presentation into a Word document, so you could just print that out and follow along. So what we should do first is view the test topics. There's not that many, but they go pretty in depth with each one, and it's actually been a while since we've had a test. Since before the quarterly, so think back to all the things that we've done since then. Okay, we did tables of values a long time ago, just creating one and filling it out, and then graphing the resulting points. After that, we did finding the validity of solutions, where if I give you an equation, you should be able to tell if a point satisfies that equation by substituting in x and y. Next, we did slope and y-intercept. You should know the four types of slope, which we'll go over. You should know how to find slope given 2 points using the slope formula. And you should also be able to look at an equation and find the slope from that. Once we finished slope, we were able to move on, and using the slope and the y-intercept, you should be able to write an equation given 2 points. And remember, that includes slope-intercept, and it also includes point-slope. And I showed you both of those, and we'll review them in one of these videos. After that, we moved on to systems of equations, which we spent about a week on, where you have the 3 ways of solving. You can graph, you can substitute, or you can eliminate. And then we have word problems, which you've probably watched 2 of to lead into this. So right away, we're just going to jump in to tables of values, and this one is pretty much, I think it's the easiest part of this test and this topic. To fill out a table of values, remember, you want to choose convenient x values. Now, on the test, I'm probably going to give you the table pre-filled out, but you're going to have to find the y values. But let's review how to fill one out. So remember, you have your x column, you have where you show the work in the middle, and then you usually have your y column. Now we're going to skip the work part and just do the x values. Remember, when you're choosing x values, it makes sense to choose 5 values that hover around 0. So then what you do is you take these x values, you substitute them into the equation to find the y values. So if I were to substitute in, well, actually, before I even do it, I'd like you to pause the video, try to fill out the table yourself. Now, when you substitute in -2 to this equation, you get 3 times -2, which is -6, minus 1, which is -7. When you substitute in -1, you get 3 times -1, which is -3, minus 1 is -4. 0 times 3 is 0, minus 1 is -1. And by now you should notice the pattern, how it's increasing by 3 each time. So you could probably just intuitively put these y values in, so you know this is going to be 2, and this last one should be 5. And if you remember, we eventually learned that that number 3 right there, which is next to x, represents the slope. That's why it changes in that pattern. And what you should be able to do after you get these points is go on an axis, such as this one, and graph them, and then connect them with a line. So what I have is -2, -7, so I go left 2, down 7, -1, -4, which is here, 0, -1, 1, 2, and 2, 5. And you'll see 5 points is a pretty good amount to have. Now what you do is you take a straight edge and you connect the points. And don't forget the little details, okay? Go on your line, put arrows on it, and don't forget to label your line with the original equation that was given to you, which is y equals 3x minus 1. And that would be perfect. That's what I'd want to see. This is a good table. These x values will probably be given to you, and you just have to be able to find the y values. So you can move on to the next video.